начать думать о собственном.
So he felt impelled to get out of the river and try to find a woman.
И он по этому дому он чувствовал, что надо уже покидать эту реку и искать его.
So he went to see the king in that area,
И он нашел местного царя,
and the king is supposed to make sure all the citizens are satisfied.
и царь обязан делать так, чтобы все были довольны его государством.
So he asked the king if he could marry one of his daughters.
И он спросил царя, если он может жениться на одной из его дочерей.
Because the king actually had so many daughters, I can't remember how many, quite a few,
У царя у них очень много дочерей.
maybe 50, I don't know.
В районе 50.
Anyway, so the king agreed because he thought that none of my daughters will want to marry him because he looks so ugly now. Because he's got, his skin is all, when you've been in the water for a long time, it comes all wrinkled.
Царь согласился в этом условии, что кто-то из его дочек тоже хочет. И он думал, что просто он такой страшный, только повторили и радость, что никто не захочет жениться.
So because the king thought none of his daughters would marry him, he agreed to Subari Muni's desire. And then, so Subari Muni, he was like a mystic yogi. So he transformed himself into a beautiful young man. Then all the daughters of the king wanted to marry him. Not just one of them, all of them. 24 of them, or however many it was. So Krishna also, he's very beautiful. And all the gopis, they wanted to marry him. Because every living entity is designed to increase Krishna's pleasure. So these girls, they were all, so many gopis, they wanted to marry Krishna. So we see actually, even in mundane society, we see that if a young man is attractive and famous, and many women will want to marry him. I remember, have you heard of the Beatles? The Beatles? So the Beatles were a very famous rock and roll band. This is in the 1960s. So they became very famous very quickly. And wherever they went, there were thousands of girls who wanted to look at them. They would scream and shout and throw themselves on the ground. So, many girls, they became attracted to Krishna. So Krishna knew what they were thinking,
Кришна знал, что они думали,
they actually prepared this special preparation. It's unsalted rice and dal. Unsalted rice and dal.
и они готовили особое блюдо, несоленый рис и
Havisyana, I think it's called. And so the gopis, they were praying to goddess Kachayani to have Krishna as their husband.
Они молились Княгине, чтобы та сделала Кришну мужем.
So they were performing austerities to get Krishna as their husband.
И они исполняли всякие аскезы, чтобы
And they were bathing, they were bathing in the cold river Jamuna.
они купались в холодной реке Ямуне,
And they were, they were performing all these austerities to get Krishna as their husband.
и они исполняли все аскезы, чтобы получить Кришну, чтобы муж был.
So Krishna, he came there and he wanted to fulfill their desire.
Он хотел исполнить желание.
So the, as is customary, the girls would bathe in a separate place from the men. They would bathe naked.
И по обычаю девушки купались отдельно от мужчин, голыми.
So all these girls took their clothes off and left them on the bank of the river Jamuna.
И они все снимали свою одежду и оставляли ее на берегу реки Ямуны.
And went into the river Jamuna.
И потом пошли купаться.
And Krishna saw this, so he stole their clothes.
И Кришна, он это видел, и он украл эту одежду.
And he climbed up a tree.
И залез на дерево.
And then he was playing games with them. He was talking to them, and he was saying that now you have to. Well, he wouldn't give their clothes back to begin with.
И он начал с ними окружающие общаться, и он не хотел обратно одежду отдавать.
So then he said, you have to come out of the river. And they were complaining to him. They were saying, we're cold, we're shivering.
И он говорил, вылазьте из реки, было холодно, морозно, слабо.
So then he said, well, you have to come up towards where I am in this tree, and you have to hold your hands above your head, and I will give you back your clothes.
Но он сказал, мы должны подойти к тому месту, где сижу на дереве, поднять руки своей головой, и тогда я вам обратно дам одежду.
So all the girls, they went up before Krishna, and because he had seen them naked, they couldn't marry anybody else.
И они все подошли к нему и сделали это, потому что он видел голыми, они не могли ни на ком еще жениться.
It's like when those girls were kidnapped by, was it by Jarasan? The princesses were kidnapped by, no. Anyway, so many 16,000 women were kidnapped by, maybe it was Bhaumasura, and because they had been in his house, they couldn't marry anybody else, because if a woman had been in the house of another man, in the Vedic culture, they couldn't marry anybody else.
И есть еще такой случай, когда 16 тысяч девушек были похищены Бхавасурой, и они были в доме, жили какое-то время, и из-за этого они ни на ком уже больше не могли, без кого там даже не могли выйти замуж после этого, по ведической традиции.
So Krishna married all these gopis.
И Кришна, он женился на всяких гопи.
And so Krishna, it's said that, Krishna has his affairs with his gopis and queens.
Говорится, что Кришна его много игры с принцессами королевами.
So it's said that there's a famous verse, Vikridatam Vajavadam Idam Chavishnum Shridam Vata Atavanayadya, which means that by hearing of Krishna's lusty affairs with his girlfriends, that actually the lust in your heart goes away.
Есть такой знаменитый стих, в нем говорится, что когда мы слышим о играх Кришны с Гопи, его ощущениях, вожделение нашего сердца, оно постепенно исчезает.
I'm just looking for the verse because it's very interesting. So this verse is explaining how, by hearing about Krishna's pastime with the gopis, you actually get free from lust.
Этот стих, кажется, мне объясняет, сказал, что слушая о играх Кришны с Гопи, вожделение исчезает у нас.
So that's why it's important to hear about Krishna's pastimes.
Поэтому очень важно слушать.
Because it's very hard to overcome this desire for sex.
Потому что очень тяжело прекратить сексуальное влечение.
Because it's the main enjoyment in the material world.
Потому что это основное единственное, что материальном мире.
So in the Krishna book, Prabhupada, he had his devotees, this is back in 1970 or something like that. They were distributing the Krishna book.
И в 80-х преданные распространяли Кришна.
Even though the Krishna book talks about, Krishna's affairs with the gopis,
И, конечно, в книге Кришны говорится о его интервью с Гопи,
kissing them,
он целует,
touching their breasts.
касается их грудей.
So this is God, that he's doing all these things.
Ну, это, конечно же, Бог, который делает.
And Krishna, and Prabhupada was happy when they were selling the Krishna book. Because by hearing about Krishna's pastimes, you become purified. But of course, this is advanced. If somebody becomes sexually disturbed by hearing about Krishna's pastimes, then they should stop.
Ну, это очень возвышенная платформа, поэтому если кто-то становится спокоен в этой истории, он должен остановиться.
So this attraction between male and female is there in all species of life.
И это отношение между женщиной и мужчиной, это отношение основа материальной жизни.
The birds, they build their nests.
Птицы, они строят свои гнезда.
They make very nice, comfortable little places for their little baby birds, chicklets.
Они видят звездочки, свободные, если птенцов.
You see that every species, the bears, the lions, the birds, every species of life has attachment to their children.
И мы видим это на всех видах жизни, птицы, медведи, они все привязаны к своим детям.
And they're very attached. The baby animals are very cute.
И маленькие животные, дети животных, они все очень привлекательны.
Like a baby bear or a baby kitten.
Например, медвежата или котята.
So this is, every species of life has this attraction to the products of their own sex.
И во всех этой жизни существует, они подчиняются своим пометам, своим милым кишкам.
So it's a very strong trap.
И это очень большая ловушка.
This family life, you have children, the kids are so cute, then you have grandchildren, the grandchildren are so cute.
Семейная жизнь сначала дети, и симпатично милая, потому что внуки, внучки тоже очень симпатично милые.
So the only way you can really get out of this attachment is to hear about Krishna's pastimes.
Единственный способ выбраться из этой ловушки – это слушать произведения Кришны во Вриндаване.
So there are many, impersonalist sannyasins that they're celibate.
Существует много малевальных саньяси, которые соблюдают целибат.
So this is Ye Ravindaksha Vimuktimananas Tvayasabhavat Avasuddha Buddhayo. Can't remember the rest of it, but because they actually are not attached to Krishna's lotus feet, then they fall down. Ye Ravindaksha Vimuktimananas Tvayasabhavat.
Потому что они не привлечения к лотосным стопам Кришны, они падают.
So we have to hear about Krishna.
Поэтому мы должны слушать о Кришне.
So the impersonal sannyasis, there was one story about two sannyasis, they were crossing a river.
Есть одна история о двух саньясах, которые пересекали реку.
And there was an old lady there,
Там была старая женщина,
and she needed help to cross the river.
ей нужна была помощь, чтобы реку пересечь.
So one of them picked her up and carried her across the
И
river.
один из них поднял ее и посадил ее на плечи и поднес ее через.
And when they got on the other side, the one sannyasi, he said, "How could you touch a woman like that?"
И когда они уже пересекли реку, и вот на другой стороне,
Don't you know?
он спрашивает того,
Don't you know it's so dangerous to touch a woman?
он ее спрашивает, как ты мог коснуться женщины, ты знаешь, насколько это опасно.
So the one that had picked up the woman, he said, "Oh, you still thinking about that? That means you're the one who's attached to the women."
И тот, который, I think it was a few hours later,
Huh?
it was like the following night,
Yeah, sometime.
and he said, I carried her on my shoulders for 20 minutes and we began to fall out.
There you go. Okay. Sounds good.
So, и это был следующий день, один из мест, который не нес эту женщину, он спрашивает у того, кто ее нес, как ты мог ее коснуться и вести ее через реку, а тот отвечает ему, я ее на плечах через полчаса, а ты ее поднес и несешь, держишь целый день.
So it's very difficult to overcome this attachment.
Очень сложно пройти это лечение.
But Lord Chaitanya, he came to give devotional service in the conjugal mood.
Но без почитания он пришлось дать это служение в настроении, в брачном настроении.
Prabhupada said, I've come to teach you how to dance with Krishna.
И Прабхупада говорит, что я пришел, чтобы научить вас танцевать с Кришной.
So we have to really understand Lord Chaitanya's message.
И мы должны понимать то сообщение, которое мы Господь читаем.
And of course, the gopis, they are simply assisting Radharani.
И, конечно же, гопи, они мастера в помощи Радharani.
And so, especially the manjaris,
Особенно манджарис.
they're the assistants to the gopis.
Они помогают гопи.
They don't actually have any conjugal relationship with Krishna.
У них нет никаких брачных отношений с Кришной.
But they experience when Radha and Krishna, they are having their loving affairs,
И когда Радharani с Кришной начнут свои любовные игры,
the gopis and the manjaris, they feel ecstatic just by seeing the pastimes.
гопи и манджари, помощницы гопи, они чувствуют полный экстаз.
So, Raghunath Das Goswami,
Рагунатха Госвами,
he in his Swarup, he's Rati Manjari,
его личная форма, сварупа, это Рати Манджари.
and he's a very important person in disciplic succession.
Он очень важный личность, соблюдает очень.
Because he has written books. Well, one specific book, what's it called? Vilapa Kusmanjali.
Он написал очень важную книгу, и одна из книг была
Which is explaining the mood of a manjari
которая объясняет настроение манджари,
serving Krishna.
служащий Кришне.
Oh, no, serving Radharani, preparing Radharani to meet Krishna.
Служащий Радharani, который Кришне.
Making her look more beautiful
Который ее украшает
with different ornaments.
разными украшениями.
So this is the ultimate conclusion of Lord Chaitanya's gift to the world, is to understand the transcendental pastimes of Radha and Krishna.
И это является основным заключением понятия.
So this is very advanced knowledge.
Основное заключение понять.
But to get to that point, it takes time.
Но чтобы прийти к этому, это время,
So we should understand that is the goal.
Но мы должны понимать, что это является нашей целью.
Because if you read the literature written by the Goswamis,
Если вы читаете литературу, написанную нашими Госвами,
there are hardly any books extrapolating on the relationship between Krishna and the cowherd boys.
почти не существует книг, которые объясняют отношения между Кришной и Воспусканием.
It's all about the gopis.
Они все обсуждают гопи.
So, celibacy is a very important item in devotional service.
Целибат он очень важен в духовной служении.
To see, how the entanglement in married life.
Чтобы изучать, распознавать то влечение, которое существует în altă zi.
So, the whole process of Krishna consciousness is gradually freeing us from the misconception that we can be happy in this material world.
Весь процесс создания Кришны распутывает нас в знание, понимание того, что мы не можем быть счастливы в этом мире.
Practically every living entity, not just human beings, they're concerned with eating, sleeping, mating, and defending.
И практически все живые существа, человека, они занимают себя тем, что думают о еде, сексе.
So there's a story that, well, Hiranyakashipu tells the story, as a matter of fact.
Hiranyakashipu рассказывает эту историю.
Because when Hiranyaksha was killed, his wives were lamenting. So Hiranyakashipu, he was telling the story of a dove or a pigeon who got a she pigeon got caught by a hunter. And Krishna also, he told the story to Arjuna. Not to Arjuna, to Uddhava. You going? Hello? Where are you going? Come back. What's he saying? What are they doing? Okay. Anyway, so the female pigeon got caught by the hunter. Actually, it wasn't the female pigeon, it was the baby pigeons. So the babies got caught by the hunter. And then the mother pigeon, the she pigeon, she became so traumatized that she swooned and she fell into the hunter's net. So then the male pigeon, he saw that his wife pigeon and his children had been trapped by the hunter, and he became completely in anxiety. He became bewildered. And then the hunter was able to capture him too. So anyway, some or other, either by, Srila Prabhupada was married, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was married, Advaita was married. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was married, Srila Prabhupada was married, Advaita was married. So they're much better devotees than we'll ever be. They're much better devotees than we'll ever be. So there's nothing to be ashamed of if you get married. But at the same time, the goal is to spit at the thought of sex. Because it entangles you. In a way, if your wife leaves you, that's Krishna's blessing. But if you go and get married again,
Noi să женитесь опять.
So anyway, we're all trying to become detached.
И мы все пытаемся отвлечься.
And we all have different karma and different desires.
У нас у всех своя карма и свои желания.
But we can't really appreciate Krishna's pastimes with the gopis as long as we have any attraction for sex.
Но мы по-настоящему не можем насладиться играми Кришны с Гопи, если у нас еще существует желание.
Okay, I'm finished. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Bol. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Yeah.
Question.
Okay.
Why were gopis bathed naked?
What?
Why were gopis bathed naked? Because according to the etiquette,
Why what?
we're supposed to cover up, otherwise we'll be offending Yamuna. Why were gopis bathed naked in the river Yamuna?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't have an answer for that. I'm sorry.
Вопрос был, почему Бог купается в воде Ямуне, когда по этикету видишь, что
When you do things for Krishna, that overrides other kind of laws.
когда мы делаем что-то для Кришны, это превосходит любые законы, любой этикет.
Like Yudhisthira, he wouldn't tell a lie.
Например, Юстира, он правильно говорил, лжи.
And therefore, his chariot wasn't riding on air anymore, it came down. Yeah, no, because he didn't follow Prabhupada's instructions, because he didn't follow Krishna's instructions. Krishna told him to lie, and he didn't want to lie.
Обычно колесница Юстира, она скользила по воздуху, летала, но потому что он послушался приказания от Кришны солгать, она опустилась на землю.
So when you do something for Krishna, then you're not bound by the laws of karma.
И когда мы делаем что-то для Кришны, мы не связаны с законом кармы, дхармой.
If you don't do it for Krishna, then you would get a reaction.
Если мы делаем что-то, не делаем что-то для Кришны, тогда у нас появляется реакция.
Okay?
But still, they were bathing naked for him. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Srimad-Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai.
What's that?